Hey. Welcome to both Created in Awe and the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina. We're on 2 pages today. So if you are catching me today on either of those pages, drop something in the comments to let us know you came by. Do a hashtag replay or say hello. I'll be checking my page. Christina will be checking her page later for comments to be able to answer questions. I will have both pulled up on my screen, so I'm going to try to keep up with all of the questions. If you're only on one of those pages, you might hear me respond to somebody on another page and you may not see that comment, so just be aware. It might be a little confusing, but I love that we get to do this on both pages and I get to show both groups of followers this kit. So let me kind of bring this down a little bit more. I want to make sure you can see what we're doing step by step, and I have a lot of my tools out here in the way because I have prepped this on the other side. So let me make sure we're looking and sounding okay on both pages. Do a refresh. Yes, Christina shows us. Sound is good. Let me make sure we're showing on my page right, which it should be if we're on Christina's. There it is. Awesome. Now Christina does have some chat rules, so you know, the normal stuff. I have some too. I have a little chat bot that will drop in some comments for you if you happen to do, what in the world, like an exclamation word, but whatever works out. Let's get this. Oh my goodness, hang on. There's my comments. All right. So over on Christina's page, I see Della, and thank you for sprinkling. Let everybody know we're here live so we can craft together. Chris is here on my page, and Bonnie and Linda, good morning, good morning. I will be stopping to look at comments as best I can. If I miss somebody, anybody who's here is welcome to answer questions. There is a link to this kit. Let me grab that. I did it, I featured it. I know that will show up on my page. I'm not sure if it'll show up on Christina's. So let's find that right here. Give it a copy, and I'm going to put it in the comments so you guys can get to it. Whether you can see it on, on a phone, you can use that featured link and you can shop while we're chatting. If you are not, then you'll probably have to wait to look at it after we're done. But let's go ahead and put the kit down here on Christina's page, and I don't know if I can pin it. I will try. Not. I know Christina is tied up today. Okay, now I'm not able to pin the link, but you can find it in the comments over on Christina's page. I think it's because I'm just like an invited guest on there today. This is the kit on my page, and I can pin it here. All right, so Christina is finally getting to do some Christmas shopping, I understand, and I want her to enjoy that time. So I'm here, I'm watching, ask me questions, I'm going to show you the kit. But I got to get this, dang it, sorry, I got to get this out of the way. I have to expand. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a little bit of background noise from downstairs. I'm going to fill you in on why I have to have that going. It's my crazy dogs, and I'll fill you in on that here in a little bit. Let me finish saying hello. I see Griselda is here. Hi, and Esther and Pat. Pam, good morning. Thank you all for coming in. And over on Christina's page, I see my sweet Patricia. I see Jolene. Thank you for sprinkling, Patricia. Is it rainy where you are, Jolene? Are you over? Let's see, who was I watching yesterday? Somebody was saying it was rainy in the Kentucky area yesterday. Is that where you are over on the eastern side? I'm in Oklahoma. I'm in Central America here. Central upper U.S., not a Central America. But anyway, and we have been dry. I probably need to run the sprinklers. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Bonnie. Yay, I love that you talked to everybody. Della, please. Yes. Welcome everybody in. I appreciate that. That helps me. Okay. Rustic Fence Wood Kit. I think that's the exact name of this kit. And there's several pieces, and it's big, guys. Okay, this is not one of the small kits that you're going to get done just like that. You're going to have some steps to this. and it'll depend on how you want to finish it, okay? I'm going all in today. I'm going with the chippy finish. This design, once it's all put together, is going to be, I think, 30 inches tall, 36 inches tall. I'll see if I can measure it once we get it. Remind me to measure it at the end. And I know that the dimensions are going to be on the website also. So I imagine this on your front porch, or, you know, and some of us don't even really have a front porch that we can put something on. You can put it inside your house, in your entry area, on your fireplace hearth, something like that. I think it's going to be one of those big pieces that you need down low. You're not going to put it up on your mantle or on a bookshelf. It's not a little shelf sitter, okay? So let's take a look at it. Oh, wait, you're asking a question, Pam, the design on a shirt. You did this one? Oh, I love this one. What does it say? I can't remember. Live like someone left the gate open. I absolutely adore this. And I know I have another project in mind for it as well. So, yes, it's so fun on a t-shirt. So fun. Okay. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Michelle. It rained all day in eastern Kentucky. Sunny today over there now. Good. So maybe it's moving on further east. Why can I not figure out directions? Hi, Hannah. Thank you for sprinkling, guys. Yes, let people know we are here and showing a kit. So this isn't the fun part. This isn't the top piece. And I have done some things to the back side of this. So I'm missing a piece. Okay. So you have, of course, this is the top of your pickets. This one is the middle section of your pickets. You can see where we're going with this, why it's going to be really big. And this is the bottom section of your pickets. So, I mean, this is going to be big, guys, okay? Then you have your base, there are 3 pieces for your base, 2 slotted pieces and a solid rectangle, okay? Those are going to be what your fence sits in so it stands up tall. And then you have 4 cross pieces for your fence, okay? So I'm going to take you step by step through how I do the chippy finish. I know a lot of people do it this way, and there's other ways to do it as well, but we're going to walk through it. I'm not going to take 2 or 3 hours with you today. I have skipped ahead. The back side of these are partly finished, so we're going to work on those together after I get this side painted, okay? So the back side of my fence, I've decided I am just going to make brown, just brown, so that if I have another place I want to put it that has like a light colored background, I want it to stand out. My chippy paint is going to have a whitish tone on the front, so that might blend in with a finish like that, or a background like that. So the back side, we're just going to make brown. Then the front side, we're going to do chippy. So you can flip it around if you want to. Let's see. Okay, so let's start with the back. All of these fence pieces are going to get a coat of brown, and some of the cross pieces I've already done. Some of the base I have already done. Where is it? I went ahead and did this. Darn it, I didn't realize I did this in chippy. I could change it. I've already finished this in chippy, so we'll see how that turns out. I may be going over the back side of this with some brown, but we'll finish it chippy for today. So these pieces I'm going to set aside for now, so I don't have to worry about them. You don't have to paint the one of the slotted layers or the bottom layer unless you want the very underneath painted. I would seal it with a spray sealer or a varnish of some kind if you're going to put it on your porch so it can withstand the weather, but that I'll do later. So those 2 pieces I don't have to worry about. You only have to worry about finishing off the very top piece, okay? Hannah's in Kansas for a few months with your son. You do travel around, don't you, Hannah? That is awesome that you get to do that. Okay. Let me show you the cross pieces. Okay, so I've already done some brown paint on 2 that are going to go on the back, because you'll have one on the back and one on the front to hold those sections together. Okay, and these 2 these 2 have already gotten prepared for the chippy finish, so we'll work with those later too. So we're going to basically make this our back side, which is also the base for the chippy finish. Okay, so I'll show you how that works. Put those aside. We're going to make all of these brown, which is, like I said, the base layer of the chippy finish. I don't know why I keep repeating myself. Let's go ahead and paint this. I do not paint this cross section at the bottom because we're going to be gluing the cross piece to it. If you put, now this is a very thin layer of paint, okay, it wouldn't be a problem, but if you had a thick layer of paint on this part and glued to it, there is a possibility it can come apart, okay? That thick acrylic paint or even chalk paint sometimes comes apart when you have glued it. So if you can leave it raw wood where you're going to be attaching pieces, you are better off. That's what we're going to do. Diane's DIY, hello, hello. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. That will be pretty sitting in your little wood rocking chair that holds your dolls. Now, how little of a rocking chair is it? I'm curious, Patricia, because this is a pretty wide base on this. I'll measure it for you if you want me to in a little while. Rainy in Maine, that's where you, wow, you are east. There's a few more pieces in this kit I almost forgot to show you. There are some latches, okay, so, or hinges. You've got 2 pieces that are hinges and a latch. And then you've got 4 little round circles that are going to go on your hinges. So we'll finish those here in a little while. I don't need to paint these because guess what? I already started the front and I'll show you how I did those later. The front is all really, well, I'll probably do I'll do the back of that because it's going to show, right? Yeah, we'll do the back of that. Okay, let's start with our truffle. Color is what I'm starting with, and I am watering it down quite a bit. First of all, if it's your chippy finish base layer, it doesn't need to be thick, okay? It can just be a very light stained look because you're just gonna see like a little peekaboo from it behind the chipped off paint. If it is your full finish, you can do a full heavy coat, whatever color you like, okay? You might want teal, you might want red, you might want black, whatever color you want to be either your solid finish or the background to your chipped paint. But if you can do it thin, this has a little bit of muck on it, I'll have to clean off. You can see the wood grain through it like a stain. You can make it like a stain. And it dries faster that way too, guys. I always want it to dry faster. Let's get this paint and make a mess with it, guys. We're gonna need quite a bit. I'm gonna start with some water in, because I'm doing so much, it's a lot easier to basically paint it on with a sponge instead of using a wipe. You can use the wipe, that gives you a very thin finish. I'm gonna have to add more water. But you also go through quite a few wipes by doing that. Okay, so this is gonna be almost like a half and half ratio of water to stain. Quite a bit of water in there. I have a little stir stick. Let me stir this up slowly. Make sure it's nice and thin. I don't know if you probably can't see what I'm doing. If you have a bigger container than what I'm using to put your paint in, a plate, a little lid, a bigger dish than this, that will work. This should be just about all I need. So I'm incorporating that water. If you don't know, the acrylic, the Waverly paint that I'm using, the truffle, is an acrylic paint. Chalk paint is acrylic. It just has an additive to it to give it that chalky matte finish. So it will work very much like your standard acrylic paint. That should be good. Okay, now I have an old sponge dauber, and I am just going to start applying it. Now, like I said, I'm going to skip the cross piece, okay? I need to go a little bit below the edge of the picket so that this bottom edge doesn't show from behind the cross member. Okay, that was a little bit heavy. I might come back and lighten it up once I have gotten the paint applied to all of these. And the sponge dauber goes super fast. see how far that paint goes? This is also a wet sponge dauber because I had used it earlier. So it does have water in it, and that helps this go a little bit further. If I feel like I've gotten too heavy of a coat, I can see the wood grain coming through though. If I feel like the coat is too heavy, then I will go back over it with something wet, like another sponge dauber or a paper towel or a water wipe, hand wipe of some kind, and that will help to remove some of the paint. Even a dry paper towel. Let me make sure I've gotten all the way past that cross line there. So if I feel like while it's wet, let me get this paper towel I had out. I can kind of drag across, and it's going to take some of that paint off and make it more like a stain. If it has already dried, then I can wet the paper towel, and that will help to remove some. Okay, make it a little bit thinner, especially on these pieces that I did first. Doesn't have to be even. We're going for a rustic look. Now, I have a question for you guys. Do you prefer the rustic look? Do you like the chippy finish, or would you like to have like a nice white picket fence or another color? Even like I said earlier, teal or red. What would you do with yours? I'd love to know. Specifically built for collector dolls, partially stuffed. Oh, that's fun, Patricia. I love that. Let me get some of this off my hands so I'm not making a big mess. All right. So you can see the wood grain coming through where I wiped some of it off, or I went light. So that piece is going to set aside to dry. We'll work with it here in a little while. We'll go ahead and do, let's get a dry paper towel here for, make sure I don't have a whole bunch of brown paint, because remember I finished the other side of it and I don't want to add more brown paint on top of the other. Okay, let's go ahead. You like the rustic, Jolene? I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on my face. I should. Della likes rustic. We'll just go ahead and set that there. Crackle fence. Oh, forgot to mention. Remember at the beginning I said, you know, if you're able to, I don't know if I said it, sprinkle it out, let me know. Let us know. Christina will be coming in later and checking those comments, and she will pick 2 people, not just one, but she's going to pick 2 people to get some Happy Mail from her. So make sure you tell us if you're able to sprinkle, spread the inspiration, share it out, whatever you want to say. Okay, let's get all of this paint applied. Come back. Like I said, I really don't care if this is a perfectly painted finish. I'm really just staining it is what I'm doing. Might even add more water to my paint. I only have a little bit more painting to go though. Just make sure I didn't miss any major spots so that I don't have the raw wood showing through the cross at the bottom edges where it crosses. Okay. That one's done. Super quick. Trade out with the last piece that we're going to paint with the brown paint. So I mixed up too much paint. Apparently. Awesome, Bonnie. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you, Della. You did it before you commented. Okay. Let's just go a little bit lighter on these. I'm not going to press quite so hard on them. There we go. I typically paint the same direction as the wood grain, so you don't see, even though this isn't a brush, you could see some little streaks from the sponge. But at the bottom edge, I tend to go side to side just to make sure I get a nice straight painted edge. Get a little bit more. There we go. A little bit, yeah, definitely have too much paint in here. That's okay. I might find something else I need to give a coat of brown paint to. while we're, you know, after we're done with this. Hopefully we aren't on too long. There we go. Awesome. See, boy, it's hard to imagine how much paint I take back off with the paper towel. This one I didn't do that to. That's okay. Okay, so we've got all the brown done. Let me clean my hands off because we're going to go to the chippy look now. Ooh, hold on. Hold on. I got to clean my hands off and then clean my glasses. They are a mess. Hello, Miss Karen. Thank you for sprinkling. You love the rustic look. Do you have this kit? Did you get this one, Karen? This one has been out for quite a while. This was part of the original, the very first set of kits we released from the Farmhouse Charm by Joey collection. If you missed the beginning, this is part of my collection with Christina at the Rust Cover Cottage. It's on her website, but I helped put the kits, or pick the kits, put the collection together, whatever you call it. And we have more coming. I'm thinking it's going to be about a week and a half. I don't have a date yet. I don't have a date. Christina and I have been talking about the kits and trying to make the final decisions and get them cut. I'm so excited. It's going to be so neat. You're going to love it. You're going to love it because it's Valentine themed. I can't wait. I'm excited. Okay, now clean my glasses off. They are quite smudged. Oh, you don't have this one, Karen? Oh, it's a nice one. I love it, love it, love it. If you're on Christina's email list, go check your email before you check out. Just saying. Go check for an email before you check out if you're already on her list. Here we go. Back side is done and pretty much dry. But we're just going to leave it like it is. These pieces are going to go on the back side also. But let's go ahead and start working on the front side for the chippy finish. This is already almost, this one is ready to chip. This one is already chipped. Okay. Can you see how we did it? I did this because I wanted a really bold look on my front porch or in front of my fireplace, either place, because it's such a big piece. So that piece is actually chipped and done. So I'm going to set it over here. This is going to be ready for chipping. So are these cross pieces, and so is the base. But let's get it to this point. Let me show you how we got here with this piece. Okay, I'm done with that. Goes in the water. So all I have, it's a little bit messy looking, is what my brown paint. Okay, so we painted this side together a little while ago. This is what I painted earlier, and we are going to chip this. Let's get it, make sure I don't have wet paint. No, it's not wet. And I'm going to get this paint out of reach so I don't. You're on the email list, Karen. Awesome. Go check for an email. She sent it, I think on Saturday. All right. All right. So it's okay that this has some splotches on it. The next step in the chippy finish, we're going to use candle wax. You can get a like a little tea light candle. If you have an old candle that you're not using anymore, you can get them. I mean, those little bitty votive candles are really inexpensive. I actually have, I saved candle wax from the very bottom of a Bath and Body Works candle because I was done with it. It wasn't going to burn anymore, and I just got it out. You put it in the freezer and it loosens from the jar, and then you can get the wax out of the bottom and you can use it for your crafting. And that's what we're doing. So it's broken up into pieces. I'm going to use one of these flat edges, and I am going to give this almost a full coat of wax scraped onto it. Okay. In fact, I try to go, see, it peels it off there, a little heavier on my edges because I want the paint to chip there. It's not going to be chipped everywhere, okay? But the heavier you go with your wax, the more it will chip. So the top, the outside edges, the neck of it, wherever you want. Okay, so this is like almost a full coat, and yes, I have chunks of wax on there. I think that's the only one I have to do that to. I'm going to knock some of the loose stuff off. You can leave it on there because it helps it chip even more. But if you have really loose pieces, it will get into your paint jar. So I'm just going to kind of knock that extra wax off. Okay. And get my fingers a little cleaner. The next layer can go right on it. Hi, Colleen. How are you? I'm going with Waverly's Plaster Color. It's the color I like. You could go with, you know, any color you like. You could even go with pure white. You could go with their cashew color, whatever. You find my big paintbrush. I know I brought it out. Here it is. All right. And this is a little bit wet, but it's okay from earlier. I'm going to put this paint on pretty thick because I don't want you to be able to see through the paint in the areas that don't chip off. I want it to look nice and solid. So this is going to be a pretty thick coat, and we're going to have to let it dry. Okay, and I might even go over it a second time with, you know, just a second coat. Not perfect. Not looking for 100% coverage, but I am wanting a pretty thick coat. That's one of the benefits of using the chalk paint, because you will get a thicker coat on it the first time. If it's not thick enough, we can touch it up after this is dry. Make sure that underneath layer of brown or whatever color you chose is completely dry before you do the wax on top of that. So do you guys do the chippy look? Have you done it much? I love it on things like picture frames and, you know, big flat pieces like this. Backgrounds to other projects. I also did it, it's downstairs. I also did it on a corbel. Absolutely love that because it looks like it is just really aged and worn. It's like architectural pieces. Those are also really great for the chippy look. Just gives them a little more rustic look, definitely, so they don't look brand new. Maybe like you just found them that way, right? Okay, my comment stopped over on Christina's page. If you're on Christina's page, say hi. Let me know you're still there. If I don't see a comment pop up here in a second, I'll probably have to refresh that screen. There may be some goofy stuff happening. I'm not surprised. Good old Facebook is you know, been doing some goofy changes. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing some thin spots now that it's starting to dry. Let's go ahead and go over it a little bit with a dryer, but not heavy. Don't give it a lot of heat, because what'll happen is you're going to activate that wax and it's going to bubble up and it's going to mix in with your paint. Did I change the live time? My notification said 11:30. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Christina's picture, it says 11:30 Eastern. That gets confusing because she's in Ohio, so she's on Eastern time. I'm Central time, and that's what I usually put on mine. That may have been the confusing point. So go over this very lightly. Architectural pieces, Karen says yes. Okay, so I don't see comments on Christina's page. Let's do a refresh. Hold on. I'm holding my dryer far away from this so it doesn't heat up the paint and make it bubble. That would end up giving you almost like a crackle finish. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Oh, there we go, Denise. I do see that you sprinkled. Hello, thank you for being here. Is everybody ready for Christmas? Now you can jazz this up for Christmas. I'm going to show you a couple of ideas once we get it put together for what you could use for display. I don't want this to be I don't want to mess up my wax. I've just got to get it dry enough so I can touch up a second layer without making it all sticky and gummy. All right. Now, you'll notice I did the sponge for the brown layer because I wanted it on real thin, but I did a paintbrush for this layer because I want it to be nice and thick. I mean, it doesn't have to be thick, I just want to get good coverage. There's some wax that ended up on top, almost there. Keep moving the dryer. Some kind of a hair. Oh, I was going to tell you. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you can hear any background noise coming from downstairs. I have music on because my poor little Ruby has become, I don't know if it's the change in the weather, you know, how the time change with, not the time change, but you know, with it getting dark earlier and staying dark later in the morning, it just kind of throws her off and she gets anxious when I'm not in the house. And yesterday, I had to be up here with the door closed for a meeting for quite a while, and I guess she thought I was gone. So anytime I leave the house, she finds something to chew up. Sometimes it's a piece of paper off of the table, a piece of mail out of the recycle bin. She'll drag my slipper out of the closet. She doesn't chew that up, thankfully, but it's like she needs it near her. She'll get a towel off the counter, something. And I think I've got everything out of her reach, and she'll still find something when she gets anxious when I'm gone. So I have music going downstairs, and I have my door open so she can hear my voice. So hopefully she won't get anxious down there. It's so goofy. Do you guys have dogs with like little quirks like that? I love her to death. I really, really do. That is still a little bit thick right there, a little bit wet. Good morning, Miss Peggy. This was on the page of your, yes, the picture that has my picture, it says 11:30 Eastern. I don't know, you might be able to go back and check that. Sometimes you have to look closely. Look at the words in the description. That's where I will tell you the time that's central. I'm glad you were able to be here though, Judy. Okay, almost there. Still a little bit. I'm just going to avoid that spot. Let's go ahead and I'll show you why I'm going to, this will be upside down, but can you see how you can, oh, the glare on this light. There we go. Look right in here. Can you see how thin that is? And then same thing here. There's several spots like that. I don't want to see that kind of thin look. I want it to be solid. Hello, Miss Lita. Your dog does the same thing, Elizabeth. What kind of dog do you have? I'm always curious if it just has something to do with her breed. She's a mix, but she is, and we were told her mix is Catahoula Leopard, but I don't know. You do those Google image things and they tell me something different almost every time. She's a brindle, and she has these like flappy pointed ears. She's so cute. She's just so cute, but she's so anxious. She's my one that just, well, she taught Maggie how to be obnoxious with the squirrels outside. So we're just going with a thin coat over to the top just to make sure we don't see all of that darkness, you know, seep through. Okay. Now I'm going to let this dry and I'll come back to it after we have done some chipping. Labradoodle. Oh, Elizabeth, I love Labradoodles. I never have gotten one because I've always rescued dogs. Labradoodles are in high demand. They don't typically end up needing rescuing unless the owner was not prepared. I know Labradoodles can be high energy and high need. That's probably why yours gets anxious like my dog does. We've had a Labrador in the past, and we've had a Lab mix. Not a doodle, but a mix. Okay, let's get this in a good spot here. Hopefully the fan will help dry it. I'm going to clean a little bit of this up because I've got some paint slopped on here. Okay guys, so if you came in late, make sure you have told us if you're able to spread the inspiration or sprinkle or share. Let Christina know. She's going to come back later today, and off of both pages, because I'm on Created in Awe, which is my page, and I'm on Rust Cover Cottage by Christina, she'll look at both pages and she'll pick 2 people to send happy mail to. Let's dry so we don't see that's still getting some of that paint. Let me get it dry, and we're gonna chip. Let's start with the base, okay? And I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways to do a chippy finish. You can sand it, which tends to like smear around the paint. So when you sand it, you're gonna get some pieces chip off, but then they're gonna like crumble and mix into the layer underneath. So you don't get a real true chippy look. You can also use a scraper. Thank you, Colette. You got her from your daughter. Didn't have the space. Oh, so you did rescue her, didn't you? Your granddog has the same issues, tries to hide. Oh. You try to compensate for your sweet Maltese doggy. How do you compensate, Peggy? I'm curious. I haven't tried everything. I've just tried to come up with ideas for her, and I don't know what to do. I'm afraid I'm going to have to medicate her. She's just so anxious. Okay, so I'm going to show you, and then there's one more technique, which is using packing tape. This is one of my favorites. I'll do both, the scraper and the packing tape. Now, because I did almost a double coat of the top color, it makes it a little more difficult to scrape. You may want, when you do your wax, to give it a heavier coat of wax than I did. I did a pretty light coat on these pieces that I'm scraping, went a little heavier on the one that I showed you. So we'll see what the difference is on that. But make sure this is fully dry. These have been sitting here for like an hour, so they are completely dry, okay? So I'm gonna go and I focus on the edge and I give it a good scrape. Now, it's gonna make a mess on your table. But see how that edge has already started looking old, okay? So I'm gonna go on this edge at the slot. Didn't go very heavy. And you can scrape forward and you can scrape backward, okay? And then that, I know the noise can be obnoxious. Now, one thing I noticed with the metal scraper, this is one from Dollar Tree, it leaves little metal marks on there, okay? So that's not my preferred method, especially since I can't seem to get underneath my thin layer of wax. So we're gonna go with the tape. I'm gonna do a piece that will cover over the edge, okay? Now, if you don't want to chip a lot, then just lightly press the tape down. If you want to chip quite a bit, then you're going to basically press it down with your scraper. You may have a credit card or popsicle stick, and then give it a good rip. Are you ready? Thanks for sharing it out, Miss Peggy. Hi, Vicki. Thank you, Colette. Okay. Woo! It lifted it up. Now look at how it took off that paint. Now you can reuse your piece. Yeah, it's got a lot of paint on it, but you can reuse it. I'm just basically going to go right next to, and I'm going to press it down. Okay. and rip. Oh, that could have been bad. That could have hit me in the head. I wasn't holding it down. Okay, let's do this. Let's hold it down, Joey, so you don't get hit in the head with it. Goodness. Now, the third time is pretty much the last time I'm going to be able to use this. I'm going to press it down super hard. Okay. Let's do halfway and then halfway so I can hold it down, okay? So I'm going to rip. Oh, my tape came apart. Let's go from the other end. There. Okay. Ooh, I'm going to get a little bit more off of this end. Hold on. Okay. Let me get a little bit more right here. Now, I like that a lot. So that took one piece of tape. You're going to go through the tape. Okay, if you use this method. And remember, this is the one that I showed you I had already done. So we've got that piece, we've got that piece. I've got some cross pieces here. These are the ones that are going to go on our chippy side. Let's go ahead and just a little bit longer. And this is a little bit faster. Press it really hard at the ends and the edges. Okay, hold it down, Joey. There we go. There. Let's get a little more right in here. And you don't have to scrape it every time, but I really want it to take up a bunch of the paint. There's a little more. Okay. Do this side. You like it, Peggy? All right, guys. Now I'm just going to keep doing this same technique. So tell me, talk to me, keep me entertained. Boy, this got sticky. Tell me what your plans are for Christmas. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's done. Let's see if we can get some little more paint off with this here. Are you hosting? Because we're hosting Christmas Eve. My family gets to come. Most all of them are here in town. My daughter is driving up from Dallas area. I can't wait to see her. We've been very lucky past few months. We've gotten to see her a couple of times because we have had some trips that we took down in her area. Part of the reason that tape a second ago ripped is because I'm scraping it so hard. I'm kind of breaking that tape. There we go. Okay. I'm going to hit a couple of spots a little bit heavier. I probably didn't have a whole lot of wax on those. Let's get this. No, I didn't get anything. A little bit. The ends of the tape haven't been used much. Hi, Miss Debbie. There we go. Okay, that piece of tape is done. Ta-da! Just take some nice big chunks so that from a distance it just looks aged and old. All right, we have this middle section to do, and then I'm gonna help this drying just a little bit real quick so that we are able to go ahead and chip this. I'm gonna show you the technique that I used on our hinges. I'm gonna touch it up a little bit. And then we're going to glue all this together. So not too much longer, a little bit more painting. Now this has some nice big chunks of wax that helps it chip a little bit more. So, because I got this a little bit heavier than I did these pieces, which I think is appropriate because the top part of your pickets are going to look a little bit worn, right? A little more worn than the bottom part. Keep the dryer moving so you don't melt that wax and mix it into your paint too much. All right. Set that to dry for another couple of minutes. All right. So who's got, you like this way? And nobody has big plans for Christmas? Are you hosting? Now, like I said, we do Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we lay around in our pajamas. And, ooh, I like how that came out. For sure. And my husband makes breakfast for everybody. So we're inviting my family this year to come back over on Christmas morning for breakfast. Woo! Oh, my tape ripped, dagnabbit. Stuck to my finger. Let's get the rest of it off. There. Oh, that one looks good. Okay. New piece. Because I ripped it. You gonna watch the replay? Yeah, Debbie, I went through all the steps leading up to this. So make sure you watch. Hey, that looks good. Hopefully I don't rip this one. Because I had used it, it didn't get a whole lot of paint off. So I'm going to use a spot that doesn't have much paint on it. To help take more off. Let's get this end down here. I like those edges to really show worn. Now, if it's not chipped enough on the edge, this is a good one to show you. I really like the edge. I want that edge to show chippy. I can come back in with my scraper tool along the edge and really scrape hard. Okay? Now it kind of left a little bit of a metal finish to it, but that's okay. Now can you see? Now that has a little more chip to it. Okay? There. I'm going to do it right here too. There we go. Get a little bit more off. Okay. Let's come back with our tape. Thank you for sprinkling, Miss Judy. I know if you're over on Christina's page, I know she absolutely appreciates it as much as I do. That's good. Let's get this edge. Now it won't take as much off down here on the bottom as it will up at the top. There. So we can go over this again. Rip. Okay. Just your family on Christmas Day. January, you get to see the rest of them. That's good. I'm so glad we did get to see my husband's side of the family just before Thanksgiving. We made a trip down there. Again, that was one of our Texas trips where we got to see my daughter for a little bit, was because we went down to see his family. Ooh, boy, that's good. That's good. Let's get this side. Hang on. Oh, it's already taken some paint off. Sometimes you get more paint off than you planned, and that's okay. That's the whole part of the look. There. Let me get this edge. And if you want it light, don't scrape it with the tool. Just go over it. Just press it down with your hand. Okay. Oh, this looks so good. I'm sorry about the noise in my microphone. All right. So that piece is done. Whoa! Glad I didn't knock the coffee off. Let's take a little break. I'm going to let this continue to dry a little more. Like I said, the longer you let it dry, the better. It still feels just like cool, like it's still a little bit damp. So let's do our painting of the hinges and the latch. Okay, so it comes to you. All the kit comes raw, and these little round pieces go on your hinges. This is how it's packaged. Christina is always super careful with the way she packs everything so that you don't lose any of these little pieces. Okay, so I've already painted the side I'm going to use to give it a rusty look. I'm going to actually touch it up. It's a little heavy on my copper paint. That one looks a little bit better. And I got this one. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the back of our latch. Hold on, I've got something on my screen here. Teresa Cherry, thank you for sprinkling. Glad you could be here. And I need to do the little circles. Now these are done, but I'm going to touch them up. So the paint that I use for this is the truffle, and I have a metallic copper. This is from DecoArt, Dazzling Metallics in copper. Okay. You could use an orange, you could use like a burnt orange or reddish color. You could combine some orange and red. This is, I just like how this guy gives it a little bit of a peak of metallic. It just makes that copper look really stand out. So I only need a tiny bit, and I don't blend these together completely. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of the truffle. I think I have more copper than I need, so I'm going to be careful. And I have a sponge. You could use a sponge dauber. You can use a paintbrush, but you tend to get like strokes, brush strokes with it. So I'm going to start with just the truffle and kind of give it a base. Okay, I'm dabbing it. Ooh, you know what? Let me get a piece of painter's tape to try to hold these little dots down, because I'm going to be dabbing them and they tend to want to go everywhere. So, piece of painter's tape with the ends rolled over, and get all the little dots on there. Okay. I'm going to hold that tape down in the middle. We're just going to give it, and it's not a full coat, okay? Like even that, it's not complete coverage. Now I'm going to come back in with the little tiny bit of copper. You probably can't even see it. Blend it in. See that? That's a little more than I need. Blend it in with the brown, and now we're going to dab again over the top, and we're going to finish covering it with that little bit of copper mixed in to the brown. And if I want, oh, it picked up white off the table. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back over that. Let me get a little more copper in there, and we're gonna dab over it, and it gives you that rusty look. Now I know you can easily go back over this with Mod Podge and cinnamon if you like. That's such a subtle look. I wanted something a little more bold because this is such a big piece, and it's going to be, you know, on my porch or on my fireplace. So now this one has a little bit heavy coat on the copper, a couple of blotches. So I'm going to soften those up. I'm going to go back over it with the blend. I don't want it to look like I dotted it. And so I'm going to blend in a little more of the truffle. There we go. I've got some white paint on that too. I should have cleaned off my table. That's from chipping the paint with the scraper. I'll clean that up here in a second. There. And let's soften this one. All right. And I can just go down in my water to clean later. So here's my little dots. Hopefully they don't fall off the tape. See that rusty look? Let those dry. The latches just need a little more time to dry, or hinges I should say, and then this is the latch. Okay? Let me clean this up. Where's my wipe? I think I threw it away. Let's do a little dusting first. Got quite a bit of that paint chipping like out here. So now it wants to mix into everything. Oh, but we need to finish this. Okay, that's dry. I'm going to go over it with the dryer one more time, and then it's going to get the tape applied to it. Now to clean my little, I always re-clean these. I really don't want that paint dried in there. I'm just going to spray some water in that little dish, so when I go to the sink to clean all my paint brushes, it'll clean a little bit easier. Oh, I just got this wet. Dry, dry, dry. Now I gotta dry that. It's just water. You guys have gotten quiet. I hope you're talking to each other and I'm just not seeing all the comments. I gotta go Christmas shopping tomorrow. Christina's getting to go right now. That's why she's not here chatting with us. But tell her hi. Make sure you say hi because she'll be coming in and checking the comments to see who sprinkled so she can send out the happy mail. Tell her hi. Because I know she'll like to come back and say hello to you as well. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Except I dropped my paper towel, so get another one. Dry up my water. Alrighty, here we go. Now, where's my packing tape? One more time. Let's get a piece long enough. And I'm going to go about half. Go ahead and got some nice chunks on here. This should give us a really good, a little bit heavier chip. Look at that. Oh, the heavier you go with, look at that. Isn't that cool? With the wax, the better the chip is going to be. So let's go right along the edge here. And of course, a fresh piece of tape, like I said before, is going to take off more paint than reusing it. Looks so good, looks so good. Let's go right in here. There. Oh, that looks so good. Uh-oh, did I miss something from Colleen? I must have missed something. I will go back and check, hon. Okay. Oh. Yes, hello. Say hello to Miss Christina. I am so thankful that she lets us do this. Come on her page and on our page at the same time to show you these kits. Remember, this kit is specifically linked on my page. I know it's linked in the featured section. I don't know if that shows on Christina's page. I don't want these lines. I'm going to try and there. It's also, I put it in a comment on my page. It is a pinned comment On Christina's page, it's from the beginning of the video. So you can get to this kit. Let's just see what it looks like without scraping it. That's not bad. Get a little bit lighter look on this one. Doesn't have to be quite as heavy on every one of them. There. What was I saying? Oh, but when you go to that link, you can also shop her entire site. She just loaded several Valentine kits and winter kits. So if you are done with the Christmas, but you do want something that's a little more seasonal, start looking at her winter and Valentine kits. And we are going to have more, like I said, coming from this collection soon. Okay. I'm going to press this down really well with my hand, not the scraper this time. That looks good. All right, let's go right next to it. I'm going to do the scraper where it's already got some paint on the tape. And then, that looks good. Now, if you have something with a lot of texture to it, like when I told you that architectural piece, you're going to end up going like in small spots like this, rather than laying it down and scraping it. Okay? Ah! I'm really, really happy with this. Okay, there's our top piece. And we are done painting. We are done scraping. We are done taping. We are going to glue now. Let's get this put together. I'm going to start with the base. Sorry, got to hike these pants up. We'll start by putting the 3 base layers together. I have 2 kinds of glue. Okay, now you might want to use hot glue instead of the thick and quick. No, the stick fast. That's interchangeable, okay? Either use stick fast thick or use hot glue for your instant hold. Then also use wood glue, or this Titebond thick and quick is a good option for your more like heavy duty grabbing hold, permanent hold that's going to take a little bit longer to dry. Okay, this is, hang on, clogged. Go. So I'm going to do a combination. These 2 pieces, remember, we don't have to paint the bottom piece and this middle layer, but we need to glue them together. You don't want glue down in the center yet, not until you're ready to put your base piece in. So let's glue around the center. Let's go ahead and do our Titebond thick and quick. Okay, and I'm going to do quite a bit of it. Okay, all the way around. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with a few spots. Is it going to come out? Do I need to I need to redo this. There we go. Out. What on the earth? There it goes. Okay. I'm going to do several dots all around this outside edge. So the outside will grab, and several dots. These are pretty big dots, bigger than I normally do, on the center part, so that it'll grab there. And that will give me my instant hold. Make sure we're all lined up on these outside edges, and then press it down. You can use clamps if you need to, which I'll probably do after I get my top layer glued on. Okay. Oh, it moved. Pay attention to what you're doing, Joey. Don't make it slide. I was looking over there for my clamps. Press straight down, guys. Don't slide. There. Okay. That's good. Now, where's my other piece? It's underneath. Here's our top layer. I'm going to do the same thing. Having a rough time. Oh my goodness, Judy, your husband's having a hard time. I am so sorry, hon. I'll need to come back and check your comment. Can't see the whole thing. Okay, now remember, if you're going to put a thick line of glue like I did there, it's going to spread out when you press it down. So you want this glue to be pretty far away from it. So that's why I'm going all the way out here to the outside edge. It still might mix in a couple of spots. And I'm going to the inside edge. There. Okay, flip this over and get this piece lined up. And line up your slot. Make sure you can see all the way through your slot. It wants to slide on me, so let me grab, I have some big clamps from Dollar Tree. Get each end of it. Whoops, and I have some little clamps I'm going to use too. See if these will open up enough. Yeah. Barely. I only have 2 of the big clamps. There we go. Because it is hard to hold these pieces together all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes back there. Now our cross pieces. Okay. These are all going to get glued together. Keep wanting to take my glasses off. I'm missing 2. There they are. Remember, we painted 2 pieces that are going to go on the back where I'm leaving everything brown. And then we chipped 2 pieces that are going to go on the front. So what I'm doing is I am going to glue the front and the back together of the pieces. We know this is the top, okay? This one that has, I got chipped paint, that has a cross piece at the top and at the bottom is our middle section. And then there's a difference. This piece where there are no ends like this one has is the bottom. That's going to go in the slot of the base. Okay, so let's start with the bottom. And we're going to glue it to the wide part. No, the thin part. Which one is it? Hold on, guys. Look at how your cross pieces fit together. Like this. Yes. Okay. So the top is the wide piece of the base of the lower section, and then the thinner piece of the middle section. Make sure this is flat. Okay. Let me slide it forward a little bit so I have a little more leverage on the table, but you can still see it hopefully. And I'm going to go ahead and put the glue like I did before. A nice thick line down the middle. And I'm going to put some dots right in this section. Okay. Now, the stick fast, don't get it all over you, is going to come in. And I'm going to dot in between. those dots, 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 dots. And we're gluing the cross piece to it. Now, once I get this in place, I am going to go ahead and grab some more clamps. Okay. And I'm going to clamp to the top piece, or the middle section, and I'm going to clamp to the base section. Same thing down here. Make sure we're lined up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Keep it all together. I'll show you after I get all the clamps on. I think I can take the clamps off of the base piece back behind me and use those too, if I need to. You can get these clamps, like I said, at Dollar Tree. Okay, let's clamp there and clamp there. And I think that's going to do it. Okay, so here we are clamped together. Gonna let that dry for a couple of minutes. This is what it looks like from the back. Okay, and then we're gonna do our piece back here. I'm gonna let this dry. Back here. We'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and take our clamps off of the base piece, because that stick fast should be pretty much set. Now our base piece is ready. Okay. Let's see if we can do this right here. Flip it over. Okay, I dropped something I don't want to drop. Hold on. Put that over here. All right, I got too much stuff in the way, guys. Here we go. Now you can see I've got chippy paint on here. I'm gonna have to wipe that off. Now, got my second. This is my brown painted piece that's gonna go here. Okay, so it's just gonna look like a brown fence. Go ahead and try to go right down the center. Do our dots. Now if it oozes out, I can clean it up off of that wood glue. Stick fast. Go ahead. Now this will give me a little bit of time to attach. Remove my clamps and we will re-clamp. See, it doesn't take long. All right. Now there we go. Ta-da. Re-clamp. Let's go ahead and clamp these all together at each end with the big clamps. I'm catching both pieces. Now we'll go in the middle, right here, and right here. There we go. Now you can do that with your hot glue too, but a lot of times that hot glue is going to start to dry before you can get everything situated. The stick fast gives you a little bit more working time. I've got some oozing out. Let me get that cleaned up. Probably had it on the front too, but I didn't see it because of the paint. So this gets a little bit awkward. You may need a bigger working space than normal. Do this in your garage if you have a work table. Cover your dining room table if you're going to be working there. Cover it up. There we go. Some of that chipped paint off. All right. Now, I'm going to give that a second. We're almost there, guys. We are going to do the top section to this. I need to get my coffee out of the way before I spill it. And all of these big pieces that don't need to be in the way out, and we will work over here. We're going to flip it around. Okay? Get the glue. So flip this guy around. No, that's the top section. So we're just going to move this down. Ta-da! Let's go. Can you still see? Hopefully you can. Okay, now I'm going to work on this piece, and we'll just move our clamps over. Get the brown painted slat. See how it's coming together? I'm excited. Alrighty. Let's get it. Got excess glue on the end of this. Oh boy, somebody made Maggie bark or Ruby. Now this is a little bit thicker, so I can add a little more glue. I think I got it too high. We're going to be cleaning up the excess again. Alrighty, now the stick fast. Goes in between. All right. Make sure these are even. And this guy, I'm going to swipe some of that glue downward. All right, ready for clamps. Sound like a surgeon. Clamp! Okay, I'm going to use the big ones right on both pieces together at the end. Make sure this is all matching up. I probably should have invested in more of these big clamps from Dollar Tree. You can probably find some good ones at your hardware store too. There. And there. I'm going to add a couple more just to be safe. We'll go ahead and take these off because that is set, and then we're going to flip it over and do the other side. Am I making it? I hope I make it look simple, because it really isn't hard. It's just a matter of knowing how it goes together and planning ahead so you can really figure out what you're going to put where, you know, how you're going to work in your space. I need to clean my paint off of that. Oh no, that's just wax. I can clean that off. Okay. Carefully flip it over. Look at this side. Isn't this gorgeous? I love it. Okay, let me give that just a few more seconds to set. And pull my pants up again. So sorry. So we've got our cross piece ready to go. Now don't forget, when you're totally done with everything, seal it, especially if it's going outside. Now you want to seal this because it might continue to chip, and you don't want to get little chip paint everywhere. But I use a spray sealer on mine. You can use a paint on varnish if you like. I just find it a little bit easier to spray it on, and I like the Rust-Oleum in matte. That way you don't get a shiny finish. It doesn't look like it came from the store. It looks more rustic if you can give it a matte finish. Okay. Go ahead and add our tight bond. There we go. And our stick fast. Make sure we can get enough dots and get the corners. There we go. Take our clamps off, and we will be reclamping. We are the clampets today. No. Do you guys remember the clampets? Okay, tell me the name of the show if you remember. Who were Okay, that was stick fast. I just got on my finger. Hold on. Don't know how I got that on there, but it'll wash off eventually. Hold on. I don't want to stick fast my clamp to my hand. Who are the Clampets? Do you remember? I get the stick fast at, hold on Amazon. I believe you might be able to find it at your hardware stores also. Be careful when you get all 3 layers together. These little bitty clamps want to like pop off sometimes. So be careful. You don't want them to go flying anywhere. No flying clamps. Beverly Hillbillies. Julie got it. Sprinkled it out. Thank you, Elizabeth. And yeah, guys, if you have come in late, you let us know if you were able to sprinkle, because Christina is going to be picking people for Happy Mail. We have a little bit more to do. Just a little bit more. I know this was long. I know we've already gone a while, but we need to put our hinges on. Our hinges are going to go. You get to pick whichever side you want. I think I'm going to put them on this side. And they are going to go right above the cross pieces. And then our latch is going to go underneath the cross piece. So we're going to glue that on. And then all of our little dots, I'll show you where those go. So let's get these glued on. Do it so that the bumpy part of your hinge is to the outside. So I'm going to have to come back in and paint the back of the hinge. I didn't even think about that. You could put it on, I don't know, maybe I want it on the cross piece. What do you think? Okay, guys, can you see it? Would it look better on the cross piece or just above? Like that. Can you see the top? What do you think? Hello, hello, Anne. Thank you for coming in on Christina's page. Welcome in. If you are new to me, let me know. My name is Joey. My page is Created in Awe, where I get to do lots of Christina's wood kits, and I get to do different kinds of crafts as well. So I hope you'll check out my page if you are coming in from the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina. What do you think? I think we are secure. I'll have to pick that up off the floor. Come here. Ugh. Above, I kind of feel like it looks better on it, and maybe like that. You like it on the cross pieces? I can see it better, right? I don't know if that's how you would do it on a fence, though. I want to look at my fence, and I can't see it. I'm going to go ahead and glue on the latch. Yeah, I'm going to put the latch on right there. That is going right there. On the cross piece is what I'm seeing. Julie, Anita, Peggy, Karen, that you guys are all, I probably have hair just completely sticking out, agreeing. Okay. So let's get some wood glue on here. Just going to do some dots of wood glue, and then also the stick fast. I'm glad I thought ahead a little bit and got the back of this latch painted, but for some reason I didn't think about the hinges sticking out. Okay, Phyllis, you're agreeing too? Teresa does over on Christina's page. Hey there, Terry. Or Grandma Terry. I'm just going to hold that instead of clamp it. We're just being the clampets again today. Okay. The latch is on. The hinges. Yeah, the hinges are going to have to stick out. Whoa. So I will paint the back of them to match the front, but we'll go ahead and get them glued on for now. And then I want to dress this up for you guys. I have a couple of things that you might, just so you can see what this is going to look like when you display it, because it's going to look adorable with either some of Christina's kits, or you could put a wreath on it. And this is a year-round piece. I got my hinge crooked. My latch is crooked. Okay. That's set. Okay. Now, you'll also want to probably glue it into the base. I won't do that right now, but I'll tell you how, because there's a little bit of wiggle room inside the slot, so you are better off getting it glued in. We'll see. I may have to do that. All right, let's pick this up. Some more glue. These are, what do you think? I can't peek over the fence like on what was it? What was the name of the show where you had the guy that peeked over the fence? Let me put it inside the base for you. Okay. Okay, you can see if I let go of it, it's going to lean back, okay? So you want it glued in. There's a little bit of, there's a little extra width front to back on this. Not side to side, but front to back. So what I will do, let's go ahead and glue. Let's go ahead so it can stand up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down into this slot with wood glue. Okay, the problem is I need to make sure this can be held up. So I'm going to have some glue that basically touches the front piece of, I'll show you, the front of the slot and the back of the slot inside. Can you see how I've got glue on the back and against the front and against the bottom? Okay, now remember, this wood glue takes a while to set, so I have time to also add in the stick fast in between. Now this stick fast is not strong for these really heavy pieces, so I may have to prop it to finish drying. I'm going to put some down here at the ends as well. Slide it in straight down, all the way down, and hold it. And I'm going to press it up against the sides. Okay, so can you see? I can't see you. I can't see you guys. My battery's running low on my laptop, so I'm going to hold this for a minute. Cross my fingers that the stick fast holds tight long enough for you to see it until I can get it propped to finish drying. Look at that! No hands! Just hands. Okay, so that is holding up for now, but it will need to be propped. So let me get this back here. I'm going to move it behind me so that I can let it dry. And I am sliding it back so it props against my shutter shelf. Can you see the whole thing? And it's so cute. I'm so happy with it. I am so darn happy. Oh, I forgot the little dots. Dagnabbit. Okay, the little dots. Hang on. Let me get those attached real quick, and then I'm going to show you an idea. There you go. Little wood glue. And a little, I'll do two at a time. A little stick fast Okay, and they go on the hinge right where you see those bumps. Okay, right there. Super quick on that. Oh, I lost battery on my laptop and my light's gonna go down, but so I can't see all your comments right now. I will come back and check for those and answer questions if I've missed them. And I know Christina will too when she's able to get on a little bit later today. And she will be picking, remember, she's going to pick 2 of you for Happy Mail, 2 of you who sprinkled. What do you think? I can't see. I can see it on my page. Lynette loves it. Hello, Robin. Thank you for sprinkling. You caught the tail end of this. Okay, here's 2 ideas for you guys. 3 ideas. Where did my believe sign? See, this is another one of our kits from Christina. You could hang this. I like to hang it from the top part. Okay, I would put a piece of jute and hang it from the top. Wouldn't that be cute? And then you can decorate it up with some fun things on the bottom. I also have this little swag piece. You could hang that on it. It could lay on the bottom like this. You can dress it up with some fake snow. You could do so many fun things. And then we have this winter sign that I made last year, and that is another one that you could hang. And I'd probably try to attach it. There we go. Let's hang it from the middle part. I'm trying to be very careful not to put too much weight on this. There. But you could hang something like that on it. I know it's white up against the back. I would probably do it on the brown side. What do you think? Let me know if this is something you would make. I'm going to take the weight off of it so it can dry without toppling over. And I cannot wait to get this put up. I'm going to put it on my fireplace, or I'm going to put it on my front porch. I've got hairs like sticking out. I'm sorry, guys. So I don't know. Where would you put it? You could put it in your kitchen, like up against the wall. You could put it in your entryway against the wall, maybe right in front of your banister, the end banister of your staircase, something like that. There's so many ways you can do this. And this is going to be a year-round piece. So I will be making things that I can hang on this from this point forward. And you can also go back to some of the stuff we made in the fall. So we're done. Thank you so much for being here. I know this was a long one. We went an hour and a half. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm going to check for comments. You have a great day. Make sure you're following Christina's page, The Rest Cover Cottage by Christina, my page, Created in Awe, and we have more wood kits coming to you. Sprinkle, let us know, and check out the wood kits. Have a great day. Bye.